Hi guys, you're welcome on here. It's a pleasure to have you. This is Essie Demuda, your topical girl. So this morning we'll be taking a look at one of the very topical activities in our nation, Nigeria, like one of the very trendy at the moment, and that is about the NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission. Like there's been a lot of talk on this commission in the last few months concerning misappropriation of funds and misuse of resources by the minister, the MD, and those who are supposed to be at the top affairs of this commission. So for this reason, investigative interrogation was set up by the president of the Nigeria, or the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that is the NAS, the National Assembly, to interrogate and see how this commission has fared in the last few months, and a lot of activities has been happening. So before we go into that, to check what happened in the house yesterday, 20th of July 2020, let's just take a brief at the NDDC, who they are, what they are, and what they're supposed to be doing for the people of the Niger Delta region. Okay, now let's go straight into that. The Niger Delta Development Commission is a federal government agency established by the Nigerian President Obasanjo in the year 2000, so that's about 20 years ago, with the sole mandate of developing the oil-rich Niger Delta region of Nigeria. Of course, this was a very good initiative, because you cannot have, okay, let's read further. One of the core mandates of the commission is to train and educate the youth of the oil-rich Niger Delta region to curb hostilities and militancy while developing key infrastructure to promote diversification and productivity. Amongst every other thing that is supposed to happen within that region, this is at least the core of it. Like, okay, just an extract from the call, or as the call of it. But I think this has been defeated for a very long time, and this called for a lot of probing by the National Assembly. But during this time, a lot of drama has been ongoing. We know the about a week ago, the acting MD of the commission walked out on the National Assembly when he was called to interrogate and accused the chairman of the committee set up as also not so clean, therefore walked out on the meeting. The second, we also had a situation where the one-time acting MD of the commission also had a lot of talks around the minister of the region, that's in the person of GODSWILL AKPABIO. Yes, she had a lot of talk on that okay, why she was removed after serving for a short period of time and what have you. So a lot of controversy on this issue in particular right now. Yesterday, 20th July 2020, a lot of drama also happened in the National Assembly Hall when a panel set to interrogate the MD now, Professor Daniel PONDEI, on this matter. After answering for some time, answers were really not so clear, because most time he was like, okay, it was like he wasn't really prepared for the interview, he wasn't ready, because I watched it, I was looking at it like, okay, some of the answers, some of the questions he never answered thoroughly. So I could, even in my head, I was imagining a professor, an MD of a company, you couldn't even come to the podium, you couldn't even come to the panel with your facts and figures, at least on the barest minimum, to save yourself of all the drama. And before we knew it, he started exhibiting some symptoms of being, I don't know, heart attack, well, no, not really heart attack, some symptoms, and before you know it, he eventually fainted. Yes, a lot of Nigeria has come to say, you know what, this is a whole lot of drama, and doing that on national television for the world to see is indeed a great eyesore to Nigeria, to the National Assembly, and to Nigeria, Nigerians, and everybody in question. Though reports reaching us later on is that the professor and MD has been ill for about 2 weeks, and just got into the session to see what he could do, but obviously he could not continue with that session. But you know what, Nigerians are really not buying this story, because we've realized over time that the acclaimed leaders of Nigeria, they end up with these stories once they are intercepted and they are called on point to justify their spendings or what allegations has been levied against them. What we see them doing a whole lot of time is coming with stories of being sick, being hospitalized, coming on wheelchairs and what have you. So I think it is time the drama stop. Yeah, it is a whole lot of time. Sometimes what we really see every now and then in the public sector, in the civil service, is a lot of eyesore to Nigerians these days, and also to the national space, and also those international and those observers watching us, because I think we are almost becoming, like it or not, this starts from the very high hierarchy in Nigeria. We've seen a lot of situations, a lot of cases, like, and you begin to wonder, not even an SSC would do this, not even a child would do this, but we see some of our leaders exhibiting those attitudes. Like, and you begin to wonder, so this is a national member, this is someone representing a constituency. They happen every now and then. Please, Nigeria, when are we going to stop this? If you are a Nigerian, a youth, or whatever category you are, and you're listening to my podcast this morning, or what I'm discussing on this matter, I beg in the name of God, it is time for us to just comment, just give me your comment. A lot of stories on Twitter, a lot of happenings on Twitter, but because this is my channel, this is my topical news, I really need to also talk about this. I may go from here to Twitter to extract some response we have from Nigerians, but Nigerians are not buying this in any form or in any way. Misappropriation of funds. In less than 6 months or in 7 months, you've spent about 1.3 billion naira on palliatives for yourself. Explain how that happened. And the next thing we could see, okay, all I just see or hear is I'll get back to you. I don't want to lie on oath or what was he even saying, and before you know it, everything crashed, and he fainted, like, just like that. So many people say we shouldn't confirm or conclude that it was a cooked up story, but oh my God, a lot of things here. Acting MD of Nigeria testifies before probe chaos as Acting MD of NDDC slums, drama as NDDC and the PONDEI slums during rep committee. So we have a lot of stories to this. I know so many of us are already on that, so if you have 1 or 2 responses for me, kindly let me know in the comment section. Now back to AKPABIO's grief. AKPABIO on NDDC and what he has to offer us. Time. AKPABIO is the minister of the Niger Delta, and what I'm going to pick on this is that what I'm going to pick on this particular is when he said, I think I wrote it down somewhere, okay, 90% of the resources come from the Niger Delta. So we heard that from him, number one. So you could imagine, so this place should be like the Silicon City of Nigeria if the resources come from here. So why are the people still suffering? It's a benefit of these are some of the things I highlighted. Why? Okay, benefit of nationals. Most contracts are given to members of the National Assembly. This was what he said specifically, and people had come to say, you know what, 60% of contracts are given to members of the National Assembly. And why he actually said this, or was stressing this in particular, the chairman presiding over the case or the situation, we heard him telling him, Honorable Minister, it's okay, it's all right, off your mic. Like, obviously he did not want him to further talk about all of this. Why the lady also at the panel wanted to get more information, get more gist on this, like, okay, like, of course I feel everything was very new to her, so she's kept on interrogating, and clearly AKPABIO told her, you know what, madam, you may not be aware, but the chairman and other members are aware, they get this. So obviously it's a yes, because he was trying to, obviously the presiding chairman was trying to hide the situation. Why? AKPABIO was already ready, like, you know what, if you guys are drilling me, I have to spill at. That was exactly what happened yesterday. Okay, and this days back to why so many people had in the past not taking the National Assembly of Nigeria very seriously. We could see what happened between them and Festus Keyamo, senior advocate of Nigeria. And at that time, we had a lot of persons say, you know what, why would a junior minister work out on senior House of Rep members and what have you? We could now see that this is one of the reasons, because he specifically stated or said, you know what, these people, they are here to hijack this job. Obviously, this is what they do. When anything comes, they feel, oh, they have the lion's share, they have to get the lion's share, then share it to their family members, or their companies take over this. We looking critically at this, he will definitely now realize that this is one of the reasons why Nigeria is not growing. So looking at everything or drawing a conclusion from what happened yesterday, Nigeria is sitting on a dynamite, like, okay, on a very, very shaky wheel. The tripod on which Nigeria is standing is really not so a good one. That is the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. It's really shaky in all its angles, as we can see. And then obviously, as it is, the leaders of Nigeria, the acclaimed leaders, were not, for me, I wouldn't call them great leaders. The acclaimed leaders of Nigeria, they've really not done this. They've really done this country a whole lot of this harm. Yes, they've done this country a whole lot of harm and disfavor, that you see that an average Nigerian youth is meant to believe that you have to struggle and struggle before you even get some of the basic needs, some of the basic things which are supposed to be seemingly very, very like a need or necessity for us. Sometimes they do some very horrible and terrific projects, and they want the people to applaud them, and they want the people to tell them thank you like 1,000,000 times, and they want the people to celebrate them for doing very dire wretched projects. We could see what happened yesterday. AKPABIO told us specifically that 90% of the resources come from this place. If 90% of the resources come, and the ministers and the House of Rep members, 60% of this contract go to them. Then the 40%, of course, the ministers, the MD, and other members of the committee, they will share it. So what is left to Nigerians is not even up to 5%. And this 5%, they will also get their share from it. We could see that this is really not interesting. It is time. I know this will be very, very difficult, but obviously, Nigerian youths, what is happening? The leaders, they've made us feel like, okay, we are not good enough to be decision makers in this country. But right now, we have seen a whole lot of what is happening in the National Assembly of a Federation, the most populous African country, a country filled with rich human and natural resources, which has been misused by her leaders. A country where leaders really do not care about the welfare of the masses. A country where leaders have sold their conscience. A country where medical health and other resources are very limited. Sometimes if you look critically at what is happening in Nigeria, you will weep for Nigeria. The fact that a very few people, elite, has been able to place themselves in positions where they have to meet their ends meet very well does not justify the fact that everything is going seemingly well for the average Nigerian youth. And that is the reality. My question this morning is, has these people really hijacked power? Have the leaders really hijacked powers and taken it to themselves and do not want to release it? There was a day I was listening to one session on the big issue on TVC, and the question is, are youths ready to lead? Two persons actually came, an older guy and a younger guy. This debate was really so interesting to watch. Are the youth really ready to lead? Are they really dogged enough to seize this power and position from these leaders who are sitting on it and do not want to leave? They don't mind shedding blood of the innocent people rather than letting the position go. And another question is, for how long do we remain in this situation? If you are not among the privileged elites in the private sector, if you are not among the people with the big goals, yes, either man or woman, you're meant to struggle. You're meant to believe that life is very, very difficult, and you have to till and toil for you to get your daily needs. A country where people, graduates, struggle to get a million job of at least 100,000 naira every month. What is the future of the Nigerian youth? We could see everything that happened. The interrogation, if you did not watch it, it is time. I think it is time you try as much as possible to dedicate time to listen to some news or live situations or live podcasts, so that you have a first-hand information of what happens, and see how the ministers, the House of Reps, the senators, the presidencies, how the presidency rather, how they utilize the resources of this country. It will interest you to know that there are some places in the Niger Delta who still struggle and do not even have lights. I wouldn't want to go further into that. Let me read just a bit of this. Okay, a lot of stories on this. I think for this week, this will be one of the very topical story in our nation, Nigeria, because we really need to find solutions to this. But the solutions forthcoming? Are Nigerian youth really ready for this solution? Are we strong enough to seize power from these people and move our nation forward, so that our children will grow up in a better and a saner society? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to that. Okay, now let me just read. This is one of the story. Let me read it of Senator AKPABIO, or former Senator AKPABIO, where he alleged that the Minister for Niger Data Affairs, Senator GODSWILL AKPABIO, has accused members of the National Assembly of being the beneficiaries of most of the contracts from the Niger Data Development Commission. This was disclosed by the minister when he appeared at the public hearing of the investigative panel at the House of Representatives, which was set up to probe the corruption allegations against AKPABIO and members of the Interim Management Committee of the NDDC. While responding to the questions on the expenditure during this period of a forensic audit, he said you cannot close down the NDDC because of the security implication on the radio. He pointed out that those that have done the jobs, okay, I'm not even sure I want to read that. Okay, so it is important that people who have gone to court, people who genuinely did their job, should be paid for the jobs. For me, I am not against it, because of course, who are even the greatest beneficiaries? It is you people. Like, he pointed to them that they are the greatest beneficiaries of this. Okay. So interesting. When a female lawmaker interrupted his presentation and asked what benefits the lawmakers get from the contracts, the minister said, I just told you that we have records to show that most of the contracts, he has records to show that most of the contracts in the NDDC are given out to the members of the National Assembly. Oshe. Anyway, that's a Nigeria term or slang that we use once in a while to exaggerate situations. It happens. So this is where I would draw this curtain on this. I think I've talked for a while. If you have more stories for me, input, feedback, or what you want us to talk about in this, kindly let me know in the comment section. This is your topical girl, SDM. It was a pleasure bringing us this news to us rather. So if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do that. I'd like to have you as one of the family members in a topical network. Thank you so much for your time, and do have a very, very pleasant time and pleasant day. Bye bye.